Hi, this is Dr. Caruso. Thank you for joining me. In this tutorial, you will learn how to create a rollover caption, how to create a rollover image, how to create a rollover Slidelet, how to set up appropriate properties for each slide and each object in it. When a rollover caption is added, a text caption appears when the learner rolls the mouse over the hotspot. When a rollover image is added, an image appears when the learner rolls the mouse over the hotspot. A rollover Slidelet is a mini slide with text, graphics, audio, etc. that appears when the learner rolls the mouse over the hotspot. Additional actions can be added if the learner clicks on the hotspot. Let's head on over to Captivate to get started. In a previous project, we added audio to introduce a training topic. We're going to build on that training topic called effective communication. In this practice project, you will have a title slide, which we already have, 2 content slides, and a conclusion slide with a rollover caption, rollover Slidelet, and rollover image included. Since we already have the title slide, I'm going to add blank slide. And you can see it has been added in my film strip. Since I will need 2 content slides and a conclusion slide, I'm going to add 2 more blank slides. I could add some slides that have some content. I could decide that I would add a question slide, a video demo, or a content slide. But for now, I'm going to get even additional practice and use the blank slides. So I'm going to add 2 more. And if you recall from a previous video, the introduction to this training talked first about teaching learners about the solar listening model. So that's what I'm going to address in these content and conclusion slides. So I'm going to add a text caption, and I'm going to call this the solar listening model. And I'm going to do some editing over here at the right. I'm going to make this much larger. I'm going to resize this box here. And for consistency, I'm going to go back to my first slide to see exactly what style was used here. Okay, so I see here, and I see the color that was used. So it seems to have picked up the same color and the same style. I'm just going to make it a little bit larger. And I am going to move this to the top. And I'm going to add another text box. But this time, I'm going to add these separately. And make them very large. Because I'm going to talk about what each letter in this model stands for. So, position over here, and these are going to be my rollover captions. I'm going to just copy these. Need 4 more. I'm going to spread them out so that they spell the word solar. And you can see the green line is my snap to objects so that I can align things very nicely. So you see here. I'm going to start aligning them. And now I'm going to change them to the appropriate letter. So this is an O. This is an L. This is an E. And this is an R. Next, I'm going to give the learner some direction on what to do on this slide. So I'm going to enter a text caption. I'm going to give this, actually, I'm going to use Adobe Blue. And I'm going to make it a call out so they can see that they are receiving some instructions. And I'm going to enter my text. Here I'm going to say, roll your mouse over each letter of the model to learn what each letter represents. And I'm going to make this larger so that everything can be seen. And I'm going to go back to a blank PowerPoint. I'm going to look for some clip art, so I'm going to do online pictures. I'm going to search for a picture of a computer mouse, making sure that I am searching in the Creative Commons only. I like this one. So I'm going to insert it into my PowerPoint, but then I'm going to do a Control-C, go back to Captivate, and do a Control-V to paste it. I'm going to resize it. And I'm going to put it here so that the learner knows that there is some action that is required. Okay, so now to insert the rollover captions. So this is going to be my hotspot. So I'm going to say, under Objects, I'm going to choose Rollover Caption. And 2 things pop up. There's a blue box that is going to be the thing that is going to highlight the rollover area. So in this case, it's going to be for each of the letters. And then when the learner rolls over this area, then a text caption is going to appear. So here is where I need to explain what the S represents. And this means square up to the person you are listening to. sit at a comfortable angle and distance. Okay, now if you like the size of the font, if you like the font that is chosen, you can leave it alone. If you like the color, you can leave all of that alone. You can tweak it over here to the right in styles and options as you see fit. For now, I'm going to leave this here. So what I want to happen is that when the user hovers over the S, this is what's going to appear. And I need to do the same thing for the rest of the letters. So I'm going to do a Control-C, Control-V, and now I have my second box that appears here. And for the O, the O represents open your posture. Be sure that your arms and legs are not crossed. So that's exactly what that means. My rollover area is going to be here. The output is going to be there. So one will be leaving as you roll over the next letter. I can also go up to, instead of copying and pasting, I can go to the objects and say rollover caption. Now here would be for the L. And the L stands for lean in. Lean slightly forward to show genuine interest. And I can place this here. Next one. It's going to be for the E. And the E stands for eye contact. Use eye contact often, but do not stare. And I'm going to move this box here as well. And then finally I have the R. And there's my hotspot for the R. And here is the text box that will appear. And the R stands for relax. Remain relatively relaxed. Okay. And I'm going to position this here. I'm going to preview to see how all of this is looking. So my directions here are to roll your mouse, and you can see that something is wrong in the timeline because I was not even able to engage in this activity. So this is part of your assignment to make sure that the settings and the timing are correct. So I'm going to go up to Window and I'm going to view the timeline. And I'm going to go all the way down to the slide. Here's the timeline for the slide. And the default is 3 seconds. So there's a couple of things you can do. You can click on the slide properties and adjust the timing, or you can slide out the timeline here. I'm going to go up to timing here, and I'm going to say that this slide duration, I'm going to give plenty of time. In a future video, we'll learn how to add an object so that the slide will pause. But for now, I'm going to say, let's say the learner might want to stay on this slide for 5 minutes. So I'm going to say 300 seconds. That's going to be plenty of time. And then I'm going to go up to these objects too. So the image, I would like it to remain for the rest of the slide. All of these things I would like to remain for the rest of the slide. So I'm adjusting them, taking them out of specific time to the rest of the slide. So you have to make sure that you do that for all of these. Usually if an animation or something is not working, it's something that has to do with the timeline. Okay, I think I have included everything here. So that I'm going to go up to Preview to see how everything's working. And I see my directions here. Roll your mouse over each letter of the model to learn what each letter represents. So I can do that pretty easily here. Okay, everything seems to be working. If you don't like the effect that this box has a blue tone, if you would rather that it's a transparent box, you can change the options here. So you can do a 100% opaque, and then you would not have, and you would also have to change the stroke. So you would not have these blue objects here. I'm sorry, it should be 0% opaque. And let's see how that would look. So here where you would have the outline of the letters, if you don't like that, if you would just like it to be a letter, there's still a hotspot there. And when the user rolls the mouse over the S, the appropriate text box appears. So this is a rollover caption. Okay, so I am going to now insert a rollover image. And I already have an image downloaded to my PC. So that is the one I'm going to insert. I'm going to resize it. And the rollover area this time is going to be a text caption, and what is going to appear is the image. So I need to write a caption. So I'm going to insert a text caption, and in this caption, and it doesn't have to be a caption, it can be anything you want to enable. As long as they roll over that area becomes a hotspot. I'm going to use some text here, so we're kind of doing the opposite of what we did in the previous slide. And I already want to know what I want to say about this. I have it copied to my clipboard, so I'm going to paste it. And I am going to adjust the font here. And what we have here is it's telling about the solar model. And I have a citation here, Egan, 1990. Of course, I would include a reference page with the publication that's associated with that in text. And here is where I'm going to designate this text as the hotspot. And again, I can say that this has really no fill and no stoke. And I'm going to do a little copy and pasting from my previous slide. I'm still on the topic of the solar listening model, so I'm going to copy this, paste it here. I'm also going to copy my directions here and just tweak them a little. Here I'm going to say roll your mouse over the above paragraph to see an illustration of the solar listening model. I'm going to situate everything on the slide. And remember the timeline. The default here is that the slide is only 3 seconds. So I'm going to go into timing. I'm going to make it 300 just so it's nice and long. And for every other picture, when I did that, it brought everything into perspective. So everything here is going to have that duration. So the rest of the slide is defined as 300 seconds. Here, this one, this text caption here needs to be rest of slide. So make sure everything's working in the timeline. We can preview from this point. And when the learner hovers over the paragraph, this is where the image pops up. And next we are going to insert our Rollover Slidelet. So here you would go to the objects and insert Rollover Slidelet, as I have done here. And here is the Slidelet area. So what you include here becomes the hotspot. And what I have decided to include, remember this is a mini slide, so you can have audio, you can have text, you can have video. I've decided that I am going to include video. And I have already downloaded a YouTube video that I'm interested in. You can use an online video downloader that would easily download that video for you. So I am going to go to video and I'm going to insert the video. It is on my computer, so I'm going to find it here. And it's the one that's called Solar. And it goes right into the little Slidelet. So I can make this larger. And this is going to be the trigger. So I have to put some sort of text here. And what I want to say here, actually I think I will use an image as the trigger, so you can see that anything that is rolled over becomes the hotspot. So I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint. I'm going to find an online image. And I'm just going to say listening. Usually when you try that the second time, it works. I'm searching in the Creative Commons only. Okay, that one's not going to work, so I'll choose a different one. And bring this into my Captivate project. Resize it. And this becomes the hotspot. And I'm going to borrow some things from the previous slide. I'm going to borrow the title. And I'm going to borrow the directions. And here I'm going to say the gentleman in the above picture seems to be listening. However, his posture is not open. His hands are folded. Hover your mouse over the picture to watch a video that reviews the solar listening model. And I'm going to borrow that little mouse picture. And I am going to set the duration of this slide to 300 seconds, making sure everything is displayed for the rest of the slide. And I'm going to see how this is all looking. So something is wrong with the timing because the video doesn't stay. So let me just check here. If I click on the Slidelet, I can see that it is playing for the rest of the Slidelet, but I can extend the duration. Because the Slidelet has 3 seconds, and I want to display it for 300, depending on how what the duration of your video is. So we're going to preview this. So everything seems to be working well. I probably would want to take away the stroke so that is not showing. Make sure it's a big hot spot. So a slidelet is just a mini slide that appears when a hotspot is hovered over, and it can contain text, audio, video, whatever you can build on the slide, a slidelet can also contain. So I gave an example of a rollover caption, rollover image, and then a rollover slidelet. And now for this project needs one more thing. It needs a conclusion slide. So you can add another slide. Borrow some elements. And I would want to conclude with some text, something that would kind of bring together what you've learned in the solar listening model. So I would want to add some text here. I already had on my clipboard what I wanted to say. I'm going to borrow a picture from a previous slide. I'll grab it from my PowerPoint and see if that will happen, if that will work. I just have to resize. And I'm going to say, in conclusion. And remember, you have to set your timeline. So the default is 3 seconds. You're just going to bring it out to a very long time, and then make sure that everything else on the screen is set to the rest of the slide.
I'm Dr. Shirley Caruso, and I'd like to welcome you to this training on the topic of
And everything seems to be working great. Remember that since I have cited a source in text, I would include a reference page for this example. I hope you have found this tutorial helpful. See you soon.